Why are you such a klutz? Hey, welcome to the farm. Today I'm continuing on the renovation of the upstairs. So I got a lot of drywall, which is in pretty good shape, but I also have a lot of latten plaster. With latten plaster, you tend to get cracks in it from settling because, I mean, even drywall will do that. With drywall, it's pretty easy to patch up and repair. With latten plaster, it's actually easy to patch up and repair too. But the way this holds to a wall degrades over time. So eventually when you get these cracks, you can push on the wall and actually the wall flexes at that point. So no matter what you do to seal these cracks, they're always going to come back. You know, the hallway is what I want to tackle now. This is drywall, this is latten plaster. And got this crack here. I've got this crack that goes all along here. And then this is drywall. Up there is latten plaster. This is where it joins and meets. That's a tape line. But that crack off of that again is where the plaster is pulling away from the lats. I've got the light taken off of the fixture a little bit because of the crack along there, so I'm going to fix that and bring that all back up to the ceiling. I'm going to work all the way out to here. Now if you look, I got a lot of work to do out here. I have to decide what's going to stay and what's going to go. Now areas like this, there's many different ways a person can fix these walls. Many people would say, you know, do it the right way. Rip it out and put drywall in. You know what? Yeah, all right, you got to do that. Drywall gets wet, it's shot. You accidentally put a hole through it, okay, you got to work on it. And what I'm getting at with that is, nothing's permanent. Houses, make it solid, paint it pretty. That's what you got to do. So whether it's drywall or whether it's latten plaster, if you can make it look pretty, doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, so maybe in 15 years from now, this will crack again from the way I do it. But anyways, I'm rambling. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drilling holes through the plaster into the lats. I'm not going to go through the lats. I'm going to be gluing the plaster back. So I'm going to be putting caulking into, and actually not caulking, construction adhesive into the back side of the walls. I have special anchors and drywall screws to where I'm going to then go into every second or third hole to pull the plaster back to the lats and hold that glue in place. Once that is done, you take some acrylic caulking, and yeah, it's siliconized acrylic caulk, water cleanup, easy stuff, and you just force it into the cracks, spread it out, and then you paint over it. For these cracks, for most of those cracks, it should be fine too. I'll have to use a little bit of spatula in that hole, and that hole, but that's just because they're holes. I don't want to use caulking in a hole. I want to use the caulking in these cracks because although I'm going to glue it back to the lats, unless I dig this out and somehow get the plaster to bond back together, it's always going to want to move there. Houses settle. So by using the caulking, I'm going to have a little bit of flexibility in that, so it's not going to want to crack like it did here. Hopefully it'll give the paint something better to hold on to and give me a little bit of longevity out of it. You know, that being said, I've never claimed to know what I'm doing. That's why I always say, ain't nothing to it but to do it. What I'm doing today is something I learned from this old house. They spoke of a kit for doing this. They spoke of a kit. I don't know how much the kit is because I couldn't find it. They said, go to any box store, you'll find this kit. I went to all the box stores around and I couldn't find it. But by looking, I figured out what the kit has is a 3/16 masonry bit, which I got. Some drywall screws, nylon anchor washers, some construction adhesive. The only thing I had trouble with is on this old house and actually on every tutorial I've seen, they've had to spray a primer into the wall. You've got to spray the primer into the holes before putting the glue or it won't hold on. And I was never understanding that, and I started to look into why. And well, the why is to settle the dust down first. And so any debris and stuff, you got to vacuum it out, but any debris and stuff that gets missed, it's supposed to settle that, so then that's not going to mess with the bonding of the construction adhesive. The other part of that is the wood here, the lats, and the plaster itself is very dry, so if you put the glue in there, it could absorb the moisture too quick, causing the glue to dry too fast, causing it to be brittle. So From what I can tell, I'm pretty sure the conditioner is just water in a spray bottle. So I don't even know how much on a kit when I spent $5 on construction adhesive, $1 on these, 98 cents. This was $2 something. The drill bit was the most expensive thing. I think that was $4.99. I bought the cheapest bit they had, which I shouldn't have. It's a hammer drill bit, which, you know, I thought, well, my drill's got a hammer drill setting. No, it's different chuck. So, you know, it ain't anything but chicken wing though, because I was able to go most parts straight. So, I'm gonna finish getting my tools and then I'm gonna get to work. Thanks for joining. Oh, I suppose I'll give you, I'm not quite done with Kylie's room. All I've got left is this window trim. Now I've got the trim downstairs. I've got a saw to do that. So I will be doing that. And she's got her stickers on her wall and it's, you know, it's her room. This room, the trim, I bought the last of the trim that they had and I couldn't finish the room. So I'm waiting for the building center here to get more trim of that size because I went to Menards and they did not have any of it. So going into the rest of the house, I'm going to actually be changing my trim to a wider trim because that trim is actually 3 inches exactly, which I don't. So what I'm going to be going to is a 4-inch board on the sides. It's just going to be 3 and whatever, 5/8, 3.5, whatever a 4-inch board is. And it's going to be a 1x. That's going to be my trim for the bottoms. And yeah, so let's get to gluing. I want to get this hallway painted, get the trim in here. I'm just kind of working from that room this way, more from the house. Kylie was actually in tears last night over the old house because of how pretty it was and how ugly this one is. And I keep telling her, you gotta be patient. We're gonna make this house just as pretty as we made the last one. The last one was almost as ugly as this one when I got it. Well, it was decent, but it was. Safety first. Alright, so I've got a lot of holes in my ceiling. I want to do my whole ceiling at once though, so that's going to actually include this part over here. I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I'm going to look at tackling this because right here I think it's okay. Here I don't. Yeah, that needs to get attached to son of a biscuit. messing around for an hour with this style of piece of junk caulking gun. And this style of piece of junk caulking. And I learned something. I have this style caulking gun. I was using those because they're lighter. Working above my head, I thought it would be easier to have a lighter one. No, no, no. Electric. We're going for power tools. I wanted the pump because it's 2 pumps. But I haven't gotten any in there. I've used a quarter of this tube and I haven't gotten any in the ceiling. Oh, that's annoying. So we're just going to go to 2 seconds. Alright, so as you can see, yeah, I got it all clamped up from here down. That's a lot more work than I thought. I ran out of battery, but I got a friend here and he's got a surprise, so I'm gonna go out and show you what that is, and we're gonna call it a day for now. What?
I jumped your driveway.
How is it?
Not too bad.
Alright, mind if I jump her now?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna do a jump and then I'll give you a ride, okay, Kai? I think it's running out of gas.
Very well.